Hey everyone, so it's Super Bowl Sunday. I know this may seem like an odd time to be doing a video, but it's been a hectic day and this is when I'm getting to it. So today we're going to make smash burger tacos. So what we're going to do here, I already have some hamburger meat that I've thawed. And I usually try to get something that doesn't have as much fat, has a lesser percentage of it. I know a lot of times you want the fat to give it flavor, but I really don't like all that grease. And for this, you'll see why when we get this started. So we are going to use our Tex-Mex seasoning. I'm going to put about a tablespoon of that in here. And we will be using this again, so I'm just going to sort of set this off to the side. I'm just going to mix this together. Sometimes I use my mixing top, and sometimes I go ahead and just use my fingers. At this point, after I get this mixed a little more, we're going to determine how many we're going to do. So I have 8 tortilla wraps. It's only me and my husband here, so we're probably not going to eat 8 tacos. So, well, you want them to be pretty thin. I may go ahead and do the patties out, but only do 4 or 6 tacos, I guess. So I'm just going to kind of split this down the middle. And that's going to give me half. And then I'll just divide that in half again. So now I have 4. And I'm just going to divide each one of those into half. Okay. And we are going to make these into little balls. And then we are going to flatten those little balls as flat as we can get them, because we're going to put our tortilla on top. That's 1, 2. I tend to stop talking when I'm working. Okay. So here is my 8 ground beef balls here. We are going to open up our tortillas. And you could actually use sliced cheese. I just grabbed my grated cheese. I'll just pull these out. That'll make it easier, I think. Okay. So I'm going to start with this one that I've already tried to sort of flatten a little bit. You want to get him as flat as you can here. I want to keep him together though. You know, a lot of times when you get the smash burgers in the restaurant, those patties are really super thin. So I've got my Deluxe Electric Grill and Griddle back here preheating, and I haven't heard it beep, so it's not gone off yet. So I'm just going to sort of stack these up as I make them. And if you're not sure if you're getting them really flat, you could always use like a cast iron pan to help mash them down. I'm hoping I'm getting these flat enough. hear it going off. Once it comes to temperature, it'll say add 350. Just go ahead and hit that, and it starts counting down your time for 60 minutes. So what we're gonna do is we are going to put our smash burger taco meat side down first. And I probably should get a spatula for this. It's probably gonna get pretty hot. But this is why I chose to use the Deluxe Electric Grill and Griddle. Normally what you would do is you would let this cook long enough to kind of cook the burger patty through. Then you would flip this over and you would do the top part. But just to ensure that I've got that flat, I'm using my grill and griddle, and we're going to do both sides at once. And while that's doing, I'm going to do one or two more of these, and we're going to start working on our toppings. So I'm going to put this here. And you could use a spatula to mash those down too if you don't want to get your hands on it. Alright, I'm going to leave these other three to the side. Just sort of wipe this off here. Okay. So while this is going, I'm going to work on our lettuce, tomato, and our sauce for this. So what I'm going to do, you could buy shredded lettuce if you want to make it easier for yourself. I did not this time. I just looked at the pricing on it in the store and decided I would go ahead and just do it. Plus, I just got a new compost bin and I'm excited to try that out. So I'm going to take off my first couple of leaves of lettuce here. You know, they're not usually the best. And that will go in my compost bin later. Then I'm just going to mash this in and pull out the core. Now you can use some of those fancy core cutters if you want to. That's just the method I'm choosing to use for tonight. Normally I've always heard that using metal when you're cutting lettuce will make it bruise and turn brown easy. So I'm going to try using our serrated knife that is made out of the nylon, and it's got the place for the herbs. But I'm just going to cut off a section of it here. Now we could make this small enough to put in our, sit back there for the moment, rapid prep mandolin, but instead I'm just going to try to cut this myself. And I think I might want a sharper knife, I'm not sure. Actually, what I wanted to show y'all, this is our close and cut containers. This works really great too. If you're just doing one or two things, you can just open that up and use that as a cutting board. And I find that these little dishes actually keep produce pretty for a little bit longer than some of my dishes that I have. We won't name names of any brands, but for shredded lettuce or whatever, it does do pretty good. So when you get it, it comes in a set of 2. All right. I think that'll be pretty good just for the 2 of us. gonna check on these burgers to see if they need any flipping. Lid fits right on. Alright, let's see how these are. Pretty good, I would say. This is the one I want. I've got my little silicone bag of cheddar cheese. Oh yeah. This thing heats up and cooks really fast, guys. So I'm just going to put our cheese on top here. And you could use any cheese you want. I think this recipe actually calls for the Monterey Jack or something like that. I just chose to use cheddar. Okay, slide that lettuce to the side. So our next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our tomatoes. I have 2 Roma tomatoes here, and I think this blade is going to be a little thick for that. So I'm going to get my, well, actually I really don't have to. I was going to get my tomato knife, but I'm going to use our quick slice. Just going to take this lid off. And I'm going to set this little guy right here. Now with the quick slice, the thing with it is you want to use a rocking motion when you're cutting. So I'm going to take out the pieces with the core, or just the bottom. And this is how I make my little cute diced tomato pieces. Okay. So this cuts it in strips, and then I'm going to turn around and lay those strips the other way and cut them across, and we're going to have diced tomatoes. And I may need to go ahead and get these off of the grill. So what I'm going to do, these are not paper chip. I just purchased these at Walmart today, brought them in, rinsed them off. Actually, I'm going to show you something else I'm going to do. With the Deluxe Electric Grill and Griddle, you can position this. I'm going to position that where it just sort of hovers over that cheese to let that melt just a little bit more. It's most of the way melted. I'm going to show you this one tomato, and then I'm just going to move on to the sauce since those two are getting done fairly quickly. I think those are pretty much. All right. So here we have our little diced pieces of tomato, just like you would make your pico or fresh salsa with. See how this is looking. Really, really good. Okay, so I'm gonna take my spatula here. I'm gonna get this up. Now you could lay this out flat on a pan. I thought it might be a good idea to go ahead and bend this a little bit so it will go ahead and take the shape. Okay, look at this. Yep, I broke that through. Okay, maybe not. Maybe it will be better to go ahead and let this cool a little bit. Let me grab some other kind of pan real quick. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and set another couple down. All right. Turn it back this way. We're going to move on to our sauce. So our sauce is going to be, this is our 1 cup prep bowls. Guys, I love these things. I make all kinds of sauces in them. So we're going to do, it has measurements on the side here. 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, and then all the way to the top is a cup. We're going to do a 1/2 cup of mayo. It should be right about at a 1/2 cup. Yes. This is our measure all, the petite measure all. I could also have used it, but I'm choosing to use the sides of this. I think I thought I was going to use it and change my mind. This is just a packet of taco sauce that came out of a taco kit. I'm going to use our chip, clip, and slicer. And we're going to need enough of that to make a 1/4 cup. That should be good. And then we're going to use our Tex-Mex seasoning. We're going to use a teaspoon of that. So I'm back with my little stainless steel measure. It has little markings in the bottom of it also. I think it might be 2 teaspoons. Well, it actually has them on the outside, but the markings are also on the inside. So that would be a teaspoon of that. I'm just going to stir this up. I think the recipe also called for some minced jalapenos. I'm going to leave that out. So if you want this spicier, you could definitely do that. Sometimes I eat spice, sometimes I don't. So I'm just not tonight. All right, and this is a little mini mix and scrape that I'm using. So I'm just going to put the lid on this. Our little prep bowls all come with their own little lids. This can go in the fridge. It's not going to take long before we're going to be using it though. And I think that's about it. Diced tomatoes, shredded lettuce, sauce, and doing our smashed tacos. Don't they look cute? All right, guys. Enjoy the game. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.